You are now well informed about the how-to of the perfect ghusl. Let us now answer some frequently asked questions about ghusl. Is the ghusl always the same? Yes, the prescribed manner of ghusl is always the same for men and women. Whether you are taking a ghusl after janaba, haid or nifas, or for special occasions when it is recommended to take a ghusl, there is no difference except this. After janaba, a woman can take a ghusl without undoing her braids. After haid, it is mustahab for the woman to use a piece of cloth scented with musk to perfume the site of menstruation. If during ghusl we experience something that nullifies wudhu, do we need to repeat the ghusl? Nullifiers of wudhu do not invalidate your ghusl. In such a case, you will complete your ghusl and then renew your wudhu for the Salaat. Is it obligatory to rinse the mouth and nose? What if I forget to rinse at the beginning of the ghusl? Ghusl is not valid without rinsing the mouth and nose, just like wudhu is not valid without them, because the inside of the mouth and nose are parts of the body which must be purified. And if you forget to rinse your mouth and nose at the beginning of the ghusl, you can rinse them in the middle or at the end. If I miss a spot during ghusl, do I have to repeat the ghusl? The answer to this question is based upon whether it is obligatory to wash the body parts one after the other, with no lengthy interruption in between. According to the majority view, if a person did not wash a body part or missed a spot, he may wash it on its own later, whether it is after a long time or a short time afterwards. Touching private parts without a barrier, does it invalidate wudhu? Scholars are at a variance in this issue. Some say the wudhu is valid, some say it is invalid. Some differentiate on the basis of touching with desire. If it is touched with desire, the wudhu is invalid, and if it is not touched with desire, the wudhu is still valid. Shaykh Ibn al-Uthaymeen rahimahullah says, it is mustahab to make wudhu in all cases, whether one touches with desire or not. And if one touches with desire, then the opinion that it is obligatory to make wudhu is very strong. And renewing the wudhu in such a circumstance is being on the safe side. I have found many du'as for ghusl. Some say there is no du'a. Please clear my doubts. There is no dua narrated in the Sunnah specifically for ghusl. Bismillah is mustahab when you begin. Is ghusl enough to offer Salaat? If you take a complete ghusl with wudhu in the beginning, there is no need to renew the wudhu unless the wudhu is nullified during the ghusl or after it. But if you did not make wudhu in the beginning and had sufficed to the obligatory acts of Ghusl, then if the Ghusl was for the purpose of removing major impurity, then yes, it is enough to offer Salaat. You do not have to make wudhu because you had the intention to remove major impurity, and major impurity includes minor impurity. But if the Ghusl was not for removing major impurity, like when you take a Ghusl for Eid or for Jum'ah or just to cool off, then no, it is not enough for Salaat. You have to make wudhu for Salaat because there was no intention of removing major impurity. With this, you are now well informed about the how-to of the perfect Ghusl. In the next video, you will find answers to all the feminine questions the sisters have sent in regarding Ghusl. For more how-to guides, subscribe to the Striving Muslimah YouTube channel.